24 hours with JB. Let's talk. Back at the office, shameless plug, heavy on the investments. With that being said, I can't tell you what people may or may not say about me, beloved. I can't tell you what rumors are going around, right? I can't in other words, beloved, when it comes to lower frequencies, when it comes to things that don't align with my purpose, my main objective, or my thesis for that particular matter, beloved, I let it stand where it may. Because what I'm doing, the way I'm maneuvering through this thing called life, beloved, it is very heartfelt, right? Very much intentional, right? Very much purpose driven. Why is that? Because I have 4 kids, because I have a wife, because I want better for myself, because I want everyone in my household to not only reap the benefits and rewards of my hard work and labor, but I want us all to understand that we can rise above, beloved. If every person in your clique is rich, your clique is rugged. Nobody will fall because everyone will be each other's crutches. I hope you fools choose to listen, not drop jewels, bust it. These are the rules I follow in my life. You gotta love it. Jigga jiggy looking gully. Yo, listen. But with that being said, me personally, beloved, this is who I vision or who I know Jaquan Business Bailey is. So if you see me in a sweatsuit, if you see me in basketball shorts or doobie, if you see, best believe if it's 9:30 a.m. to 4 p.m., I'm investing into that stock market. Best believe I've added to the portfolio. And perhaps not just mine, but the tribe as well, beloved. We dancing to a different tune over here, beloved. I don't know if you know it or not. New tune alert. We move as a unit. We move as a conglomerate. We move as a dynasty. You see, I've been singing the same song for quite some time, right? But nowadays in today's time, beloved, it's completely different. There is no room for negativity. There is no room for games. There is no room for anything that will slow down this tyrant, right? I mean what I say and I say what I mean. And to be quite frankly, I don't talk often. Not in this day and age, beloved. Because if I have to talk, that means that you don't even, that means that not only do you not understand what I'm about and what I exemplify, but that means that you could potentially take me down. You could potentially slow me down. You could potentially take food off my kid's plate. And guess what, beloved? I'm not letting anyone do that. Now, we all fall. We all slip. We all don't walk that straight line. We all let strangers even, right, get the best of us or cause us to do things that we normally wouldn't do, right? Due to the spur of the moment. But that's where the hard work comes in. You see what I'm saying? My confidence is sky high. You feel my aura through the phone, not just because of the suit, not just because my business attire, not just because the heavy on the investments that's listed, that's slow it down. Now don't slow it down. Not just because the heavy on the investments that's viewed before you, but you feel my aura through your screen because I work on me every single day. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not building. There's not a day that goes by that I'm not teaching my kids Spanish. There's not a day that goes by that news isn't on in the morning, whether it's the car or our home. That's my kids' alarm clock. Bloomberg. Hello, what's going on? What did Trump tweet today? What stock reports earnings today? What company just announced a business deal, right? You should know about the Berkshire Hathaway and Google Play that just I want to say dropped about $10 billion on. And if you know the significance of that, that's small change to Um, Berkshire, that is. But what just took place? Warren Buffett just dipped. And who took over? Greg Abel, beloved. This is what I'm talking about. If you see me quiet, it's because this was what's on my mind. If you see me not around, it's because I'm moving like this, beloved. I'm not here to play. I'm not here to play, beloved. Just like they said, you don't play boxing, you don't play finance as well, beloved. Now, we can make games out of it, but at the end of the day, the objective, whew, Jay, you cooking. Damn, you didn't tell me you was going to do all that. Yeah, beloved. Loosen up the tie even. Because to be quite frank, it's been long overdue, beloved. I've been over hurdle after hurdle, obstacle after obstacle. And with that being said, we stayed sturdy. We stayed in the pocket. We remained diligent. We kept integrity at the forefront. Now, I'm not going to say every single thing I did was 100% right. No. But when it was time to face my, let's say, demons, right? When it was time to see exactly what was deterring me from glowing like this, when it was time for, who you cooking? When it was time for, don't forget you got the mic on, beloved. Yeah, we dead serious over here. You didn't even see the mic in the back. Listen, when it was time for me to reevaluate the entire chessboard and understand and then overstand where it is that I'm causing my pieces to move in directions that they shouldn't be moving, guess what I did? Guess what I did, beloved? I studied. What else did you do? I prayed. That top button's so tight. Listen, I studied. I prayed, right? And with that being, I couldn't breathe for a minute. With that being said, I stayed in pocket because I knew then as well as I know now, even more than I knew back then, that again, Jaquan Businessman Bailey is going to look like an overnight success when I bust these next 2-3 moves, inshallah. I know for a fact that people are going to say, oh, yo, I knew when Jay was... Listen, I get very little support. We just gonna call a stack, right? The flowers are not coming in the way in which, let's say, I thought they would. But guess what, beloved? That's not an issue because it's allowing me to stay in the pocket. It allows me to stay determined, right? Hungry, focused, and dedicated. If I give out 10 business cards and those 10 people don't call back, I don't say, hey, what's wrong with me? I say, no, I seen the numbers. I seen the reports. I seen the dividends. I see the work that you're putting in. I see the sleepless nights. I see the therapy sessions. I see the uncomfortable conversations you have with your wife. I see the uncomfortable conversations you have with your kids. I see how when you fall, when you stumble, when you trip, you address that, right? When you go wrong, when you do things that's not in your character or of your character, you address it and you bring it at the forefront. And you say to your family, your household, who's most important, that, yo, Dan, that wasn't sturdy, right? We wasn't... Generals don't move like that. Now you make a mistake, you do something that's not intact with your moral compass, right? Or that's not aligned with your moral compass. Rather, you address that and you still stand tall, beloved. That doesn't make you a non-general. No, beloved. We're in this to lead, right? This is for my livemen, right? Not for my freshmen. We are in this to be giants, beloved. Which is why we stay in the gym. Which is why we keep our head in books. Which is why we pray as much as possible. Which is why we protect our family. We don't play games out here, beloved. You have to, as a general, again, this is to my generals, you have to look yourself in that mirror, beloved. You got to be the first one up and the last one to sleep every single day. 386 days a year. 80 hours a week. Well, I meant to say like 48 hours a day. I was trying to... But you get what I'm saying. You have to let people see who you are, right? By action, right? AKA verb. Not by verbal all the time. Because what the eyes see, the mind believes. That's all I got for now. Heavy on the investments.